Roommate forces me to move with a newborn in a global pandemic. Karma delivers. All of this started partially by my own doing a year ago. I agreed to a room share with my knowingly narcissistic friend of 17 years. He was moving back to the States after living in China for 3 years. He seemed more well-adjusted. He had met the partner of his dreams. I loved this person. I thought to myself, everything will be fine, OP. You know how to put up with his bullshit. You'll save money. It'll be great. Obviously, the other doormat humans of the world know that this was a serious and egregious oversight on my part. Cartoonishly foolish. Definitely 100% will end with OP getting treated like dirt. All of you can skip to the end. Things were okay at first. He slept on my couch for 2 weeks without paying rent before my lease was up. Smoked all my weed. You know, the normal shit. Him, my brother whom I've been roommates with for the better part of 5 years, and myself sign a lease on the outskirts of a trendy neighborhood. It's the kind of neighborhood that has a hipster coffee shop right next to a restaurant that's only open 3 days a week, right next to a condemned crack house, and you're pretty sure it's just a drug front, but whatever. You're only 10 minutes from downtown, and no one's broken into your house yet. Life is great. We all made decent money, even if we hated our jobs. 3 months in, the saga begins. Roommate smokes insane amount of weed and pops Adderall to focus all the time. Laziest tweaker I've ever fucking seen. Roommate accuses brother and I of stealing money from him because he spent $1,500 in 1 month on weed for personal use and smokes the occasional bowl with us. Roommate has a job working at a highly specialized summer camp at a well-recognized university. Roommate works from home 9 months out of the year and supervises teenagers for 3 months during the summer, all while getting paid $45K a year with those cushy government benefits. I really wish I could get paid that to smoke weed and play computer games. Life really would be great. Roommate's fiance gets arrested for drugs in totalitarian country. I ask roommate to treat me like a human because it freaks me out that he never speaks to me and never leaves his room. I'd also appreciate it if he'd clean up after himself. Roommate says I'm insensitive for asking him to be cordial occasionally because I am experiencing depression also, and would like for him to at the very least ask me how my fucking day was every once in a while. We were good friends for some time after all. He's just under so much stress right now, due to fiance troubles and job, that he can't be bothered to acknowledge my existence. He also can't be bothered to acknowledge the existence of his dishes, trash day, an ashtray, or his actual job. Summer comes, I quit my job because I hate it, and it's slowly eating my soul. I do not have another job, but I'm done. I take a job supervising children at the summer camp for 1 month. Things continue to deteriorate. Roommate's fiance flees totalitarian country to avoid mandatory community service in home state, and comes to live in our house rent-free indefinitely. Roommate's fiance is a lovely person. Brother and I get along very well with him. Roommate elopes, they get a puppy, violating lease term as the only dog allowed on property is brother's dog. All is well. I get 2 jobs which I love. I'm happy and busy and social, and I don't need that asshole. I pretty much write the friendship off at this point, and just want to get through the lease without any volcanic explosions. Brother's FWB gets pregnant and decides to keep it. She moves in with us too. I'm okay with this because she's a good human, and also needs a safe place to incubate a tiny person. I now live in a 3-bedroom house with 4 other humans and 2 dogs, and continue to pay 1/3 of the rent and bills. Brother's partner and I do nearly all of the cleaning, despite the fact that roommate and husband are always home and cooking, and we all go to work. Fall and winter come and go. I try to keep the peace. Doormats and pushovers enter here. Spring arrives and Australia is on fire. Kobe Bryant dies in a helicopter crash, China has some nasty shit going on, and I shamefully watch Love is Blind on Netflix. Everything is fine. After weeks of discussion dodging by roommate, we politely tell roommate that we do not wish to cohabitate with him and new husband after the end of the lease term. New baby is due in March, and I've accepted that I'd rather live with a newborn than some psycho off of Craigslist. Trust me, just don't do it, I've been there. Roommate states that he and new husband just can't move right now due to bullshit extenuating circumstances, like how fake real job is, too stressful during the summertime. He would rather illegally sublet from us indefinitely once the lease is up, and it'll be totally fine living with 5 people and a baby and 2 dogs. They'll probably be out by the end of the summer. We don't want to argue with roommate despite new baby being due in March and lease being up in April, so we agree to find a new place. Roommate and new husband can find another roommate. We give required notice of said intentions to our landlord. Roommate informs landlord that he will be staying. We find a nice place for $400 a month, less than our current place in late February, and sign a lease in early March to move in April. Everything is great. Things begin to go further downhill. Roommate is all over the place. Nice one day, asshole the next. Baby is late. We decide to move in early to new place, so new mom and dad can have some peace with new baby, and we can leave this toxic environment. We pay prorated rent for March for new house, in addition to March rent for old house. Roommate begins to lose his ever-loving shit. Trump announces disaster declaration. Baby girl comes 3/16 via C-section. We move all of our shit out in the middle of a global fucking pandemic, with a newborn fucking baby 1 week after her birth. Roommate accuses brother and I of endangering his life for collecting our belongings out of our own fucking house. Roommate says terrible things to me. Roommate apologizes for terrible things. We get a puppy. Roommate states that they will not be continuing lease in said house after we've moved with a newborn baby in the middle of a global fucking pandemic because they can't afford it anymore, when all we wanted was to there originally. Roommate states they will withhold deposit as last month's rent from landlord and pay us our deposit himself. I suspect they never intended to pay us any money at all. Puppy eats a sock. Roommate says we can go fuck ourselves, but I'm also a saint for being so patient with him, while he spews toxic nuclear waste all over me for the past 2 weeks. All we want to do is get the last of our shit out and clean the fucking house so we can get our fucking deposit back. Roommate bars us entry to house and claims that he has spoken to a lawyer and he will call the cops if we come back because we are endangering his life and we have no legal right to enter. Roommate says we're broke, have no money, and he will make sure we don't get our deposit back. We're piece of shit human beings, etc. Brother and I decide to call the landlord and explain the situation in detail, calmly and truthfully. Landlord sides with us and states that we did give her notice that we would be leaving at the end of the lease term, and we are entitled to a walk-through and whatever portion of our deposit is applicable, and she is happy to escort us onto the property with police escort in tow. Landlord states that roommate has not contacted her since he asked for a reduction in rent and requested to resign the lease without a deposit. Landlord says she ain't trying to play no games and she has a son in his last year of college. She states that we actually were the only ones who paid rent and deposit, all payments transferred directly through brother's account, and she will be depositing all of the deposit directly back to us, and y'all can work it out amongst yourselves. We tell landlord we are sorry roommate is trying to fuck her over. Landlord is sad that we couldn't stay, but she understands. Brother and I are happy and relieved to be done with this psycho. Roommate proceeds to call landlord and realizes how much he has fucked himself, proceeds to try and apologize to us. Very sorry that he's now responsible for $4,000 worth of rent due to not giving proper 60-day notice to vacate property, and may lose another $500 in deposit money. Just wants to talk, except neither me nor brother will answer any calls or texts. We are done. Puppy finally threw up the sock. Karma is a fucking bitch. I literally could not make this shit up if I tried. The world is a literal dystopian nightmare fever dream, and everything is fine. It's my birthday, let's party like it's 2012, and Obama just won re-election. Only safely and 6 feet apart with very clean hands, and don't forget to not touch your fucking face.